Hey there, TRW crew, Matt Masello here with the RhinestoneWorld.com. So this is edition 3 of our TRW lab here at the Rhinestone World Bling headquarters. So what we're going to go over today is how to customize a actual football. So as you know, you buy a football for your son, you have their name written on it, you write it in the magic marker right there or a Sharpie, something on there doesn't look very good. Well, we want to try and again, anything with the TRW lab here, if this is your first one watching, what we do is we want to try and think outside the box, think of different ideas that you can do with your vinyl cutter, with your heat press, or like we're using today, a basic household iron or a crafting iron, to think of new ideas for your business and things that you can possibly sell. So what we do here in the lab is we test it out for you. We ruin the footballs and baseballs or whatever it is if it doesn't work, so you don't have to ruin your material or lose your material, to give you ideas. And then what we'll do is we'll revisit it a few weeks later, let you know how it turned out, and then give you either the thumbs up or the thumbs down on if we think that's something that's going to last, it's going to be durable, and you can sell to your customers. So we're going to try a football out here today. We haven't ever tried a football before, so in the video right here, you're seeing it brand new to us as well, and we can try different things. But we're not sure with the football and the leather and kind of the texture on it, how that's going to work. But the material we are going to use to try this today is our Caesar Easyweed stretch. So the stretch, we figured the stretch will have a little bit more, obviously, stretchability depending on if the football is going to be squeezed, compressed at different times, whether it's kicked, thrown, caught, anything like that. So we figured the stretch will probably hold up a little better, but we're not positive if with the texture of the football, how the stretch is going to handle, if we can get enough heat to it and enough pressure to get it down in there. And then also, we don't know if the iron's going to melt the football. So that's what the lab's for. We're going to test that out for you, let you know, and then if it's something that works and it's great and you can sell it to your customers to make some money, we all win. So what I'm going to use, like I said, we're going to use the Caesar Easyweed stretch, and I'm just going to put my son's name on it. So we have his name written in just a black Sharpie right now, but I think this is going to look a lot nicer if it works, so let's give it a test, all right? So we're over here in our little work area, and we have our regular basic household iron, then we have a little crafting iron here. We call this the Rudy iron. So what I'm going to do is, because our Easyweed stretch right here, I trimmed the actual carrier sheet, so it's not going to stick real good. I want to use some more. Now you can use heat tape. What you can also use is some hot fix tape. So this is just our hot fix tape that we use for doing rhinestones. And I'm going to put this right onto the hot fix tape right there. So I basically just expanded my area as far as for it to be able to adhere to this football as I'm pressing it. Now, what I want to do is just find a good spot for it. I think this spot right here would work pretty nice, and it's going to lay out to where if this works, it's going to basically look like it's part of the football. See that? So it looks like it's a custom football for Jackson. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my little tacking iron or crafting iron here, and I'm just going to hit the different spots. And I'm not going to, as you can see, I'm not pressing too hard, but with the football being something brand new, we want to try and make sure and see if we can get it down into those grooves of the actual football. So we're going to have to give a little bit of pressure on it, and I'm going to move it around here, and then I'm going to hold it for, I don't really want to keep it directly in place for too long, just because I'm not really sure, since we're testing it, if it's melting or what's going on right now. So I kind of want to get some feedback by looking at it as I'm doing it here. And it looks like the heat is okay with it. We aren't having a big issue with anything melting. So I'm going to start applying a little bit more pressure to it now, because I want it to get kind of into those grooves of the actual football. And I think that's where our biggest downfall could be if this didn't work. So again, now this little iron right here gets up to about 300 to 350 degrees. We don't really have a reading on it, so we kind of got to wing it a little bit because we're not sure exactly what we're at. But with the football here, you can see everything's starting to look pretty good, but I'm just not sure how it's going to go with, like I was saying, like with the texture of the football. So that's where Obviously down the road could be our biggest downfall with this, but again, we want to test it here for you to see if it's actually going to work, and if it doesn't, we'll say, hey, I wouldn't recommend customizing footballs due to the texture of the football. So let's see if we're getting any adhesion here yet. Oh wow, okay. So I see the edge there. I can see that edge I didn't get very good. So I'm just going to put my tape back on, and the bottom of the J there I didn't get very good. So I'm going to get a little bit more pressure on there. Just kind of move it around, make sure I get good heat to it and some good pressure. Now that I notice that the iron isn't actually melting the football at all, now I'm a little more comfortable with actually putting some pressure into it. So you can see I'm pushing a little bit harder now that I know I'm not just going to melt directly through the football. And then I'm just going to hold it here. And let's see what we got going here. I think that's starting to look pretty good. I'm trying to see if any of our edges are coming up here, and it doesn't really look like any of them are. Can you guys see that? So you can see as I compress the football here, it's holding pretty perfect there. So I think that's all going to be pretty good as far as our initial look here, but we'll have to obviously see how it's going to go once we get it out there and get it in the field and actually start using it. But as of right now, looking at this, it looks like we got a pretty good adhesion to this football. So let's go back to our main screen here. So as you can see, this is what we had before. Jackson written. Now my wife has pretty good handwriting, so that doesn't look that bad. But doesn't that look a lot better? It looks like it's basically a football that was made for Jackson. So you can see up close here how good that Easyweed stretch looks. So this is something again that we'll come back in a few weeks and let you know exactly how it is. We'll get it out there. As you can see, you hit different areas of it. Still looks perfect. So, I mean, that's taking some impact right there. And that's still looking awesome. So it isn't peeling up at all yet, but we'll get it out, we'll throw it around the yard, get it out to the football field, get some real game time with it, see what's going on. We'll revisit this in a few weeks, let you know if you can customize the football. And the great thing is all of us out there, if you have a son that plays high school football or just went to college or something like that, footballs, they have this large area here that you'll see customized a lot. Like, hey, first touchdown, and they want to display it in their room. You can put the date and the score of the game, or hey, you win a team wins a state championship, high school state championships. They love that. The coach wants that football in his office. You could customize it. That's not something that's going to be thrown around, so it's going to look like this and look awesome all the time. And you could put, hey, the date, the score, 5A state champions, and whatever it is. So even if this part doesn't work with the custom name, you still have, now that we see it will adhere to the football, a lot of different options to customize something awesome like that as well. And especially if you do it with a game ball, something like that, that could be really cool for that school or league or whatever it is. So hope you enjoyed this edition of our TRW lab. If you do have any questions, again, make sure to give us a call. But this is the lab, so this is a test. We will revisit in a few weeks, let you know how it comes out, give you the thumbs up or the thumbs down, and say, hey, this is what we found out from our research here at TRW. So if you have any questions, make sure to give us a call. Number is 941-755-1696. This is Matt with the rhinestoneworld.com. You guys have a great day.